Hey everyone, it's Christy with Crafted by Christy. I'm so excited to show you my new book that's going to be in the Etsy shop. I'm calling this one Motion for Mixed Media Ocean. And there's a lot of mixed media. It's very chunky. Stuff coming out of the top, sides, bottom. It's a lot of I don't know, maybe some grunge, lots of the threads, and a lot more mixed media than anything I've done so far. To start, I'll show you the tassel. Of course, it's removable, and it has a little sea turtle. It has a bottle of sand, real sand. It doesn't look like it, but it is. And I glued the lid and the I guess that's kind of like a yarn that it's on, so it's not going to come off. There's all kinds of, there's eyelash trim, some netting, different colors of sari silk to make up the tassel. And it is, like I said, removable, and it is on with the eyelet. The enclosure is sari silk as well, and it is not attached. And then just to start with, on the front, we have a unicorn, and this is one of my mixed media pages that I think that's Brusho, kind of like oxide ink, only it's powder, and you put water on it, and it's very vibrant. It's not showing so much in this. I don't have very good lighting, but it is very pretty, and it's got some golds in it. Lots of strings here by the unicorn. And there's a vellum pocket and another pocket. There's a little seahorse charm. And, of course, goodies in the pockets. I love this lighthouse. Isn't it pretty? And then this is little well, no, I don't. Yeah, it's a napkin collage. Just folds open. I have sewn all around in 2 different colors. There's a, I don't know, kind of a lime green and a blue. This is fabric on the inside and outside. The middle of it, what's sandwiched in between, is a bubble mailer and packing paper. I wanted it to have some sound, so I put both in there. I don't know that the packing paper really made that much difference, but I liked it. So it was just a try. I'll show you what's in it. Oh, and look how good and bulky it is. So much. These 2 pieces will be just in the back. I was going to clip them in, but then I was afraid of, you know, when there's sewing along the edge, I always hate clipping something, especially like this, because I didn't want it to get stuck on it. But I'll show you these. These will just sit in the back, and they usually stay pretty good until you turn it upside down like I just did. Look how big she is. And it's got some netting. There's netting, and then this is, I can't remember. Oh, there's some cellophane in here to make noise, but it doesn't really make much noise. And packing paper, some of the mixed media paper that I made, and I stamped treasures on it. Take this out where you can see how pretty it is. There's a little bit of cheesecloth. There's a lot happening on the front that I'm sure is kind of hard to see. I will have to put in my Etsy shop how many pages, because I don't remember, but it's a 5-hole pamphlet stitch binding, because I knew it was going to be big and bulky, so I thought the 5-hole would be better support for it. On the front, I have put some of that, I think it looks like netting. It's actually from a garment bag, like you wash your clothes in. And there is a pin that has some charms hanging from it, and the pin it comes out. This is actually a real shell that I got in Florida, I believe. And then a little starfish and another piece of a shell, but this one is actually one that I collected. The other two are not. And then inside of it, I have a laminated book plate. I got this picture from a book that I thought was beautiful, and then I got some other photos on the back, just collaged a bunch of different pretty tropical pictures. There's Dog Island. I don't know where these other places are, but they're someplace I'm sure I would like to be. So that is the book plate in the front. And this is vellum. Always have me some vellum. And I have collaged napkin to it. So it has good texture and sound, and I've inked around it. This is scrapbook paper that I think they were 6x6, so I sewed two of them together. This is a mermaid bookmark that I also laminated. This is the bookmaker note from the bookmaker letter, and then it has a little paper clip. And the inside, I did some smushing of, I believe this was the Brusho inks. And then I put some distressed tape. And I splatter painted this page. And sewed some lace. I'm not sure that lace really goes with the ocean, but I'll tell you, I don't really know that this book makes sense as much as it has beautiful mixed media and have a little charm. And I can tell you that, I don't know, things don't always make sense, so I guess that's where maybe I'm at in life. So I left strings on just about everything, so there's a lot of strings hanging from the bottom. This is a little bit of netting, some starfish, a vellum sewn to digital to make a pocket. So there's 2 pockets on this page. Did some splatter painting on this one. This is kind of a specimen card that I put pockets, vellum pockets on the front and the back. And I thought this was kind of neat. It's a digital tag, and I dripped water on it to make it kind of look, I don't know, kind of like water, I guess. That look, I don't know. And then I inked the back. Here's a little aged card. Inked the back of it as well. And I stamped this picture, put in it. Lots of sewing. Some eyelash trim, and not sure what the other is called. Seems like eyelash trim doesn't want to stay knotted, or maybe I'm not doing it right. So I put this thread in with it, hoping it would stay knotted better. And then a tall collage strip with just different pictures. You can write on the back. I like how the mermaid, this vellum, I inked blue around it so it looks like her head is just barely sticking above the water. I like that. And then this sheet is a lot of the ink, you drop it on a stamp pad and then you smush it. It has some gesso. Did some stamping, the words. Did some stenciling here, some more stamping, a scrap strip, I guess. And I will say every page has something coming off of the side or the top. So it either has a tab or something sewn on it. This one I did some stenciling, some watercolor. This is glued on for writing space. It's kind of like, looks like distressed paper, very pretty. And this is a digital tag. Did more splatter painting on this one. This is where I got the idea to drop water on and make it look, I don't know what the word is, but I splatter painted, cut a little shell, did some clustering. This is from a calendar, actually. I like the numbers. I actually have a tab. This tab is from a calendar, and it's been splatter painted. And there's some fake beads glued on. But anyway, I dropped water on this one accidentally. And I liked how it looks so much that I went ahead and put it in here. There's some sari silk tags, splatter painted tags. Most everything, like, will have inking on the back as well. This is collaged coffee filter, used coffee filter on a flashcard. I love mixed media. Never really had the nerve to do it. It's always like I can't draw or anything like that. And you don't have to do mixed media. It makes itself beautiful. Here's some more of the distress tape. This is just regular, tape. Like you gift wrapping tape, and you drop alcohol ink on it and let it dry. And I just think it looks so pretty. Chinooki Mixed Media, I think. Chinooki Art, something like that. She has a video on how to make this tape. It's so pretty and so easy. More tabs. This is like a map. This is a lot of mixed media. I just did some doodling and splatter painting and clustering. It says, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. That really hits home. So anyway, sorry, there is some more of where I dropped water. I love that look. I don't know why. Little unicorn, I fussy cut. This digital, all of the unicorns you'll see in here are from Louise Heinzel. She has an Etsy shop. I can put her link below. She has a really cool kit that has a lot of beautiful papers in it. This tab, I just hole punched some scrap. I think it makes a really cool looking tab. Did some watercoloring, splattering, stamping. Little fussy cut fish. Put some netting here. And there are little seashells that I did get actually at the beach. And I glued on. They're just little pieces. I did some book page, glued some book page, and then pulled it back up to make it look distressed. There's a little bit more of that distressed tape. Here's one of those beautiful seahorses from Louise Heinzel. I did some die cuts of the coral sewn around the edges. Believe it or not, there is actually a lot of writing space in this book. A lot of added writing space. But there's also like this, where you can write. I mean, you can actually write anywhere. I thought this was quirky. It's just a little frog bookmark that I got in a gift one time, and I thought it matched the colors, so I put it in. Like I said, it's not like this book makes sense. It's just fun and a lot of mixed media, and I love it. And here's a bookmark. It'll be one of those things that you either love or think, what? Why did you do that? This is an index card that I've altered with, I think these were oxide inks. And I smushed them on a stamp pad with water, splatter painted, sewed. Everything, most things like this will be double sewed, so it gives it that raggedy look. There's some extra threading, some cheesecloth. All great things have small beginnings. This is some fabric paper. You take fabric and decoupage either napkin or tissue paper, and it gives it a really neat feel and texture. Has some stamping on it. And I say this is a mixed media book. It's also a very texture interactive book. So if you like to be able to do things like, you know, that, there's some little cards. Again, I dropped water on this digital, inked the back with some smooshed. This is a little tag that I splatter painted. These two little pockets are in Louise Heinzel's digital, and I've sewn around those. And here's another little tea-dyed tag. Everything I left long strings. I decoupaged. This is some, I guess what, seaweed. I don't know why I want to say kelp. I don't even know what color kelp is. I think it's green. Little page tab. This paper, which is beautiful, and I didn't splatter paint this. That's actually in the digital, and that is from Carrie's Mixed Media. She has a lot of beautiful digitals too. I decoupaged a starfish. Did some stenciling. This coral is decoupage napkin as well. Paper clip with a little bit of ribbon. I put the orange because I thought it kind of went in with the starfish and the coral. This piece is embossed. I'm not sure if you can tell with my terrible lighting, but it looks like waves. And I put some white ink kind of across the top to try to make it look more like waves. Opens up for writing space. These are some fun pieces. This paper, I can't probably make this show how beautiful it is, but it is ink dyed, and where, you know, the little circles, like where the water lays, just looks beautiful. It really is pretty, and I hope that it shows, but I bet it doesn't. My camera is terrible, but it is very, very pretty. And it has lots of texture. And there's just some fun pieces in here. This is music paper that has tissue paper collaged and then some ink dripped onto it. This side has a napkin, sea turtle, and a dolphin. This is also from music paper, coral on napkin that's decoupaged, and then more inking, and a dolphin. My all-time favorite thing, a dolphin. And these are really texture pieces. They're fun. So that opens up for writing and has a tuck spot, of course. This is wrapping paper. This piece is two of those garment bags, different colors. There is bits and pieces of shells glued on, real shells that I actually did get from the beach. And it has a little bead dangle at the bottom. just clips on with a safety pin. Another one of Louise Heinzel's seahorses that I fussy cut. Some cheesecloth and extra threading. Book page. Has some stamping. This page has a vellum pocket and a digital pocket. This has splatter painting as well. This is one of the digitals in that kit. Has a little book page that has some stamping. This one's sewn. Splatter painted piece. This is a mixed media arts page that I used on a jelly plate, and I didn't like it, and Shanuki had a video of cutting it in strips and then rearranging it, making something pretty out of it. So that's what I did. And then I splatter painted it and sewed around it with this thread that kind of matches. It's this burgundy color, the same as the tie. I don't know if you can, there is a boat, looks like a wrecked ship in the sand. This little pocket that has a specimen card with a shell. Be brave. This is a tag that I've left lots of extra stuff, and it's a shaker card. Just has little bits and pieces of everything, some sequins and cutout, hole punch cutouts, confetti in there, and then just some random writing spots. This is tea-dyed paper. And when I tea-dyed, it must have been laying on an index card. You can see the imprint. I think it looks so pretty. You never know what you're going to get when you tea-dye paper. This is a hinged piece, so it can go either side. It's a cellophane pocket. And I've done, this is hinged with washi tape. This is jelly painted with a jelly plate. Painted with a jelly plate. There's some stenciling, stickers, and then it has tags inside. I left it facing this way because I loved this paper. And I don't know if it's, I don't know, this paper is so soft. I don't even know what it was or why it's so soft, but it has the best texture. And this is the middle, the center of it. Left extra strings, of course, if you want to put beads or what have you. This is a specimen card that has a little heart clip and a dangle with beads, but it opens up for, has packing paper you can write on. This is die-cut photograph paper that I ink, alcohol ink, it has alcohol ink on it, and it's photo paper. It's kind of slick feeling, and there are little enamel dots, sequins on there, another seahorse, a little bit of stenciling, more tea-dyed paper. Here is a starfish. This is digital. I think this one's from My Porch Prints. I'm not sure. It says this way to the beach, and it looks like water and sand, but there is actually sand in it. This is vellum. It kind of has little gold flecks in it. The vellum does. And then I glued it really, really well all the way around, except the top. Poured in my sand. This sand is, I believe, from Florida. And then, of course, I had to put my little Crafted by Christy, but again, it's removable. It doesn't have to stay there. And it has some other little beads. And then this side of the pocket has a mixed media, an altered index card, but it has music paper, book page, collage to it, napkin. I've done some stamping, some squiggles. This is a fussy cut dolphin, and I have gessoed to try to blend him in a number. This is not a sewn piece. I drew around it. It's made to look like it's sewn. The back of it, ooh, that is so pretty, is ink dyed. And a little hole punched out tab with some cheesecloth and thread. This has good texture too. This page has stenciling, some fussy cut shells, the calendar page that's been splatter painted. Little pocket has gold inking around it and a little bit on it. It's hard to see. A distressed card. Now this is very grungy. Again, like I said, I think maybe this book reflects life right now. It's kind of crazy, but this distress oxide ink, I believe, is what this was. But it's very, very grungy. The front of it is used coffee filter. And there is some book page underneath. Again, I pasted it down, glued it down with a glue stick, and then ripped it up where only a little bit was left. Oh, and another one of Louise's seahorses. And it's glued to tea-dyed paper. This is just a beautiful picture. It's been embossed. And it's like all the way around it, like a picture frame of embossing, I guess. And sewn to tea-dyed paper. This is a tea-dyed envelope, folded, glued to both sides. And then this is the Brushos ink and some gesso, lots of thread, another number, a tag, has a button on it. It's two-sided, so it can be written on. This is more of the digital, some sari silk sewn at the top, flips up. It is glued at the top so it doesn't come off. But underneath, I thought this was the prettiest stamp. It looks like a lighthouse. Little sailboat, birds. You have to take the tag out to flip it up. The other side, again, is flip it up, and it is like, it reminds me, I think what I was going for is like an aquarium. You know how the water boils up and it looks kind of flush at the top, and then these are die-cut fish and coral and seaweed. These are metal. Well, I said no, they're probably plastic, but they're kind of iridescent, so they have lots of color. Some netting, a little tag, has surf cut out in it, some waves, book page. The piece that is in it is a mixed media digital. I didn't paint this one. Did writings in the back of it. It looks like kind of a map. Hot air balloon. This piece is vellum. It says, "Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right." And then it just has some random ephemera in it to write on. A vellum tag. Ooh, this has some stenciling. Lots of different colors in the stenciling. This spot has an envelope that is tissue paper collaged to a book page. And then I sewed to give it the holes, the look of but I didn't put thread in it. I just like the look of it. I don't know, I tell you, what was on my mind, I'm not really sure. I love it though. And then it has a beaded charm. And I'm sure there's some goodies in here. Yeah. Kind of neat writing spots. And this is tissue paper, but it doesn't feel like the rest that I collaged. It almost has a plastic, but maybe that's because of the catalog paper that I decoupaged it to was slicky. Slicky, is that a word? Enjoy the little things. This is a stamp of 2 beach chairs. Some more of that netting that I ink dyed. A little shell. It has a little pearl right there. It's supposed to be a little pearl in its mouth. And this shell I just tucked in. Just kind of like a little, I don't know, surprise kind of thing. I didn't glue it down. I don't know why. I did that on purpose, but I don't know what I was thinking. Other than I wanted to hide a shell. And these pieces, I've done stenciling on this page. This is used coffee filter decoupage to music paper. That's what the tab is. This is a library card that has tissue paper decoupage to it and then inking. This is part of her digital kit. It's for writing space and a bookmark. Double sewing, kind of crazy sewing. Lots of threads. A little seashell is stamped on this book page. Or, yeah, book page. And just flips up for some writing space. And a seahorse pocket. This sheet is embossed with bubbles. I kind of went over it with some blue-gray ink to try to make them stand out. It's a writing spot. Some tickets. Lots of journaling space here. This is tea-dyed paper. Some more of that distressed tape. Lots of distress ink. I love this sheet. And another one of the scrap strips. Some lace sewn around. And when I ink dyed the other side, it bled through on this part. And I loved it. My grandson said, oh my gosh, I love that so much. So I didn't try to cover it up. I just went with it. I love it. It's a very aged look. I love that. There's some rickrack on the side. Another one of the seahorses with some watercolors. I had a texture, I think it was just a letter, maybe a bathtub toy, and it had texture on the back, so I used it to make kind of waves. This pocket is sewn onto it. Seashells. Inside of it is a scrappy book, notebook, just of scraps. It has all kinds of paper in it. Scrapbook paper, tea-dyed, music paper, packing paper, more packing paper, and it's sewn. I think I had it where the fringes were out. This is part of that digital. It's a mermaid. It's been hinged to this sheet. Watercolor and some texture stamps. Lots of writing area. This is more of that fabric paper. And this is, I don't know, it's kind of reminds me of glittery sand. Very, very textured. And it has some, this one's been embossed with flowers. I thought the flowers kind of matched the flowers that were on the front. Another baby card with some inking on the back. Oh, well, this is the Brushos for sure because it's very bright. I thought this kind of looked like a little starfish. Has some stenciling. This is watercoloring and some stenciling, seaweed stencil, more sewing and lace, more watercolor and splatters. Another really pretty charm. This is the other half of the piece I sewed on the front and has splatter. More of the mixed media that I cut in strips. Did some drawing, stamping. This one says keepsakes. And a bookmark. Well, but it's not really a bookmark. It's just writing spot. This piece I embossed as waves. It is also an altered index card. I did some drawing on it. It's supposed to look like seaweed and bubbles. And I wasn't going to include it because I didn't finish it, but I thought it might be fun for someone to, you know, play around with, and not to mention you can write on it. But the pieces that are in these envelopes, there's things to make tags, and I don't know. If it's something you don't want, pitch it. But I thought it was pretty and it's fun, and if you like the grungy and the, you know, the mixed media, it's a fun piece to play with. I like the index cards. There are a lot of things you can do with them. Or splatter painting. There's the other side of that vellum that's also been collaged with napkin. And the back of the book. And these are the 2 envelopes that will be inside. This one has tracing paper sewn onto a book page. And some sari silk washi tape because this book page is pretty fragile. I probably really should have used 2. And then I used some distress tape. I think I already set up fussy cut some seaweed. But inside of both of these are just pieces that I think are neat. I think they'd be fun to play around with and make things out of. And I want you to know that the things that are in these, I thought would make good things to make tabs or play around with or glue and stick to your pages. Here's some more of that jelly print. Acrylic paints is what that is on a book page, on a jelly plate. Some sewn pieces that make awesome on the sides of your pages or as more tabs, or they're just fun pieces. I went ahead and sewed some of the scraps. This would have to be something that was folded over because it does say Louise Heinzel. That's part of that digital. But I just did some funny sewing. And I mean, I'm not trying to give you another piece of that pretty bling. Not trying to give you my trash because, and here's a piece that has the water splattered on it, because I have lots of scraps that are truly, I mean, I have lots. So these are things that I actually thought would be fun to play around with in this journal. And then the same goes for this other package. It's been embossed. And I just thought this tea-dyed paper was beautiful. It has some, this one had, I believe, a placemat laid over it when I tea-dyed it and gave it that look. But I just thought it was pretty paper, and I thought it would be fun to work with. This is some of the decoupage coffee filter on music paper. Some more of the jelly printing. Some of the fabric paper. This digital I thought was really pretty. Some ink, I'm sorry, tea-dyed paper. Another stamped piece. This is wallpaper. All of this paper was used in this journal somewhere. It might be hidden, but it's there. And this is just an edging piece that I thought was pretty. It kind of looks like rocks. And then there's a little piece of that plastic. Sounds like my grandson is really mad. Don't worry, he's with his brother. I didn't leave him by himself. And his brother is a teenager, so he's sleepy. Anyway, I hope that you love this like I do, because it was a lot of fun to make, and it, you know, anybody that, if you make junk journals, you know it's a very big stress reliever, and sometimes I think how we feel comes out in our work, and I think it's beautiful, but it's almost like the messier life is, the more I like the mixed media and the messy. I mean, it's not, I can't say it's messy because it took a lot. I mean, it's detailed. There's a lot of details in this, but, you know, Dolly Parton used to say it takes a lot. She used to say, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. And I don't think it looks cheap. I'm just saying it takes a lot of work to make it look this messy, if that makes any sense. But I hope you like it. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will have this up in my Etsy shop soon. And I'll put a link as soon as I get it up in the Etsy shop. I'll put a link on this video. Check out my Etsy shop. And if you have any questions, let me know. Is this your thing or not? Do you hate it? You love it? I'm not afraid of criticism. I'm okay with that. I think that if you love what you're doing and you love your work, you love making it, you get joy out of making it, then it's okay. You can take the criticism. It's all right. But if you liked it, please let me know. If you didn't like it, you can let me know that too. But give me a thumbs up, please. And check out my Etsy shop. And I will see you next time. Oh, forgot the tassel, didn't I? A little sand. This sand, I wanted to tell you real quick, is from Blind Pass in Florida. Blind Pass Beach in Florida. All right. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.